Good morning, everybody. My name is Keaton Jack. I'm your host, and this is the Freshmen RadioHeads with WHIT Radio.org. Today on our show, we have Jason Morel, Javier Crespo, Andrew Kwok, Ulysses, and Robert Carrera. So first, we're just going to talk about an interesting topic on our news segment, What Happened Yesterday. And if you follow recent news, you'll see that the world is just watching the situation in Syria just unfold on itself. There were 2 bombings that killed 13 people and left 70 of them injured in Damascus. So, Jason, what do you have on this?
Well, as many of you who follow the news, you've probably heard about what's going on in Syria. It's an ongoing civil war. It's part of this whole massive thing that's been going on since about 2011. A lot of revolutions in the Arab world. It's known as Arab Spring. And it's a revolution to try to depose the president. He and his family have ruled since about 1971.
Yes.
And it's become a very bloody conflict, and it's taken it's like becoming the next major conflict in the world. The UN is very involved. Turkey is really the country in the UN that's on the front lines of this because they share a border with Syria, and it's really, people are thinking that it could be a big catalyst towards a potential World War III.
Now, Jason, a lot of people in Syria are questioning why the U.S. is lending aid to those who are causing terror to the actual country.
These are actually just accusations. These aren't necessarily fact. People are just accusing mainly the CIA of supplying the revolutionaries, and because they just want to eliminate the revolutionaries. They want to impose an Islamist government onto Syria, like a more strict one, and so they're accusing the U.S. of supplying the revolutionaries who are using very dirty tactics, including like even chemical attacks, just to attacks on civilian populations, and it's become a very dirty conflict.
Okay. Well, Javier, do you have anything to say about this?
Yeah, actually, more on this topic. Barack Obama yesterday came out with a statement saying that they offered aid, but it wasn't weapons. So Barack Obama's really pretty much...
Non-lethal, yeah.
Yeah, non-lethal. So, these really are just accusations. And to me, it seems like the rebellion, they're really just starting to point fingers at this point. They haven't made progress. It's a blood fest in Syria. It's a fiasco. It's got to stop.
Well, thank you for that. Now on our next topic, we're going to have, if you're a basketball fan, we know that Jason Collins, he's now a free agent on the NBA, but he recently played for the Celtics, came out about being openly gay, and he is still active in the NBA. In fact, the first player to still be active in his career. So what do you guys have to say about this, your opinions?
Well, I'll step in on this one. Chris Broussard yesterday came out with some really critical comments, calling him a rebellion in God. All of this, Jason Collins, listen, he's a human being. Scientific fact, put religion aside, all right? We're going to put religion aside for a second. Scientific fact, you are born how you are. And it's completely wrong for Chris Broussard to come out and put Jason Collins on blast in front of the world, all right? This is in front of everyone. This man had tremendous courage to come out. And for him to come out, especially on ESPN, worldwide sports, he really made a wrong move. I'm pretty disappointed in him. He already has a bad look on him because he's really not that great of a reporter. He's known for making mistakes. And for him to make such a controversial comment, it's a shame, especially for Jason Collins, an NBA pioneer.
Now, Ulysses, what do you have to say on this topic?
Ulysses is not here. Actually, he's under the weather. So, if Robert, do you want to say anything on this at all, or?
All right. Well, Andrew, I see. So, what do you have to say, Andrew?
Andrew's not here. Oh, Andrew, go ahead. Sorry.
Everyone is equal, no matter what race, religion, or sex or sexual orientation. Everyone's deserved to be equal. You cannot hate anyone.
Well, everyone does have the right to free speech, but at the same time, everyone has the right to choose what sexual orientation they want to be. And ESPN actually did apologize on his behalf for speaking such an outrageous way, because we know today, as homosexuality is becoming more accepted,
What exactly was said again?
he said that being homosexual is a sin, that Jason Collins is walking in the rebellion of God.
Who said that, though?
Chris Broussard.
Chris Broussard, sorry. Yeah. So ESPN apologized nationally, said that they welcome Jason Collins' new announcement to be openly gay in the NBA. And even the president actually gave him a call and said, I support you in your decision. So it's great to see how supporting people can be, not just the fact his choice of being openly gay, but not on sexual orientation beliefs. But in another topic, there are 3 more suspects that might have been involved with the Boston bombing. Jason, could you give me anything on that?
Well, they found new evidence in the videos showing more people, but so far the FBI hasn't been able to track them down. And the FBI is actually saying that they might not be able to track them down because the videos really doesn't show them much, and really a bombing site doesn't exactly leave much in the way of physical evidence for you to find and pick up on. So they're really stuck here, but the president is still supporting them and saying that they've done all they can to apprehend at least 2 of the suspects, and that he'll give the FBI whatever resources they need to bring justice to those lives that were lost at the marathon bombing.
All right, Javier, do you have anything?
From the start, this whole story something seemed wrong. These 2 guys were brothers. His older brother, just recently they found connection for him and extremist groups, but Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, the one that's currently in custody and in the hospital, something seems off about this story, whether it was his older brother leading him on or pressuring him into doing it. Because this guy basically was living the regular American life. He never had anything wrong against it. His friends are completely in denial. They say there's no way possible. The fact that there's 3 more suspects in custody, no surprise, because honestly, this all just seems wrong. There's more to come out. And the reason, really, it's going to be interesting when it comes out why it all happened.
Well, they do have, they were both known to have connections to militant groups in Chechnya, which is a region in Russia. It's very unstable. And
The mother, too.
Oh, yeah, the mother was also
The
caught.
mother was involved.
I wasn't aware of that,
And,
but
she was on TV, and things that she was saying just didn't sound right. It didn't.
That's a good point. I saw that about his mother. She seemed kind of off. She seemed like she was pushing the story a little bit.
She says no way that these my sons could have done it. It's America's fault, not my sons.
She made a wrong move with that. That was the worst thing she could have done.
Because the story take into consideration of other people's feelings defending her sons.
Exactly.
People actually did die at the site,
including one of the suspects. Let's not forget one of those.
The 9-year-old boy, Martin. Yeah.
That's
And the father, if there was any sincerity from this story, what it seems like to me, the father does look distraught. He has no opinion on it. You've seen in interviews, the guy doesn't really want to talk anymore. It's a really sad situation what's going on for him, but everything that happened in Boston, it looks fishy. They got to go into it.
Yeah, the parents were really surprised and everything. And I also heard that the older brother actually got interested in the Muslim religion, and he was just, before the bombing, he was really into that. He was really interested in that.
Yeah, that's a big reason why the Chechnya region where they're from is very unstable. It's trying to become its own separate Muslim republic, and it's being helped out a lot by extremists, including the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. So those are their extremist group connections.
Yeah. But moving along, on April 26th, a school in Colorado published that they would start to have bulletproof uniforms for kids in school. Basically, their book bags were bulletproof and their uniforms would be bulletproof. And basically, you could take a hit from a 9mm bullet.
Guys,
now,
I hate to interrupt you. You have a phone call. You have
phone
a
call?
phone call.
Okay, well, who's on the line?
Take that. Let's see.
Oh, hello.
Hello, how are you? What's your name?
hello, how are you? What's your name? Hello, how are you? What's your name?
Hello?
How are you? What's your name?
Having some technical difficulties
Some technical difficulties there.
Okay.
But, I don't know
Okay,
what's
we can
happening.
move on.
All right.
Well, yeah, basically it's made by a company in Denver, and they basically supply the uniforms and jacket. They're basically called Elite. They're called Elite Sterling Security. And in the last week, they've sold over last 2 months, they've sold over 300, and they're backed up with 2,000 inquiries, and now they have to outsource in Cuba. What do you guys? What's your opinion on this? The company says it's just like wearing a seatbelt in a car. How do you feel about kids wearing bulletproof uniforms?
I think it'll be great. Ever since Newtown,
It's actually
which
had a big
kills-
impact on Newtown, yeah.
which killed 27 people, including 20 innocent kids, I guess every schools want to be safe. They want to protect children. You
Yeah,
cannot
everybody's so paranoid and everything. And think about the weight, though. I mean,
Yeah.
the kids, you know.
The book bag actually weighs 3 pounds without it being, with it empty.
Yeah, think about the books and everything.
Yeah,
and,
to a kindergartner, they said that this book bag is basically. A parent said that her 5-year-old daughter, Jalea, basically it reaches down to her knees and it weighs 3 pounds. And adding on extra weight with books and lunch. I mean, to the point where kids can't go to school without feeling safe unless they have something that can protect them from a bullet. So that's the question I really want to ask. How do you guys feel about that situation, Jason?
Well, I think this is a very sad thing. Like, it just shows sort of like a degradation today in American society. Really, it's like we can't even send our children to school today without having them wear a bulletproof school uniform. That's ridiculous. Like, America's supposed to be the greatest country on earth, but we don't even feel safe sending our children to school. It shows that we as a people, we need to do more, like with stricter gun control and all that. But that's another discussion for another day. But I really think that this is just a big paranoid thing, and really someone who plans on committing a crime like this, they get all sorts of weapons. Like you said, this only stops a 9mm round, which is a pretty small round. And you saw the big thing about the Newtown massacre was that it was performed with assault rifles, and those will just rip those little uniforms to shreds, really.
Now, they also had another suggestion, or basically what they were also going to input was that they were going to have bulletproof safety vests in the back of the classroom in case of an emergency. Now, in my opinion, I feel that is something good for all schools to have. Now that we've seen more than twice, because we had Columbine and Newtown, that a shooting.
Don't forget Virginia Tech.
Yeah, Virginia Tech too. That a shooting can happen in school. It's not something that oh my goodness, it's new. We've seen it more than once. In case someone comes in with an armed weapon, at least you can go to the back and put on a safety vest just in case they come in and try and start shooting. I think that would be a little more logical than having kids wear it to and from school, because that's also giving the idea that you might not just get shot in school, but you might also get shot on your way home. So that also that implies that it's not just for the school, but it's basically for everywhere you go. Uniform is something that's worn 5 days a week.
That's a lot more sensible, really. It's like obviously it still just gives you sort of that paranoid feeling.
Yeah.
But
especially because the kids are still young. This is grammar school.
They haven't
but
learned about guns yet.
Yeah, it still does make a lot more sense with the vest in the back. Like I said, it still gives you that weird, creepy, paranoid, you're not safe anywhere sort of feeling.
I agree. And also, whether it's ridiculous or not, you got to put that aside for a second and realize this is for safety. It's definitely adding paranoia to the whole, we're going to have a school shooting soon. It's terrible for 5-year-olds to have in their mind that maybe one day, they don't even know what a gun is. They don't know what death really is. You can't, putting them in that situation, it's purely for the safety. I agree, it's definitely smarter if it's in the back of the room. Because honestly, unless the guy walks in straight into your room, you're going to have time to get ready. Instead of having these kids carrying a uniform every day, it's going to be strenuous.
And not only that, but parents are also concerned about the price of the uniforms. I mean,
Right.
it's still lined to stop a bullet that's not cheap material. It may cost hundreds of dollars, and to have more than one uniform, your kid just can't wear the same one. Not only that, but kids also do get bigger. So what's going to happen if your child outgrows a uniform? Now what are you going to do? You're going to recycle it, or you're going to have to buy a new one? I mean, 2,000 is still a lot, back orders in the last 2 months, which basically shows that the country is concerned for having more safety for their child in whatever situation may result, whether it be a flood or, a shooting, because we have seen that. But money-wise, not everybody may be able to support it, and the school might not be able to support it if it has hundreds of kids. Not everybody can provide it, and that wouldn't be really. To me, that wouldn't be fair, because if one kid can afford to have a bulletproof uniform, what about a kid who can't? Is he protected? Is he safe? So that's why I just feel like the vest in the back, you can buy enough just for your classroom's capacity, and no matter who's in it, it's still a vest, so you can just have it, a universal size. So that's Robert, do you have anything to say on this?
Yeah, I was thinking about the money also, Keaton. I mean, some schools won't have the funds to pay for all these jackets for every single kid. And yeah, I think the in the back would be a lot better than every single kid having the bulletproof vest.
Well, that's all the time we have for today, folks. So until next time, my name is Keaton Jack, the host of this show with WHITradio.org. Today we had on the show Jason, Javier, Skippy, and Robert, and we talked about a few interesting topics. We talked about Syria, we talked about Jason Collins, and we talked about bulletproof uniforms. So until next time, see you later.
Sometimes I must get out in the light. Better leave her behind. With the kids are alright. The kids are alright.